Yo, what's up, nerds? So, if you guys have followed my channel for a little bit, you know I've been getting into Pauper. I've gotten a little bit of a better understanding to it. I have a red goblins deck that's in my mock field page. It's actually been pretty successful. I've been winning tournament. Well, not like winning, but like I think I placed fourth and a couple like top eights, at least local tournaments. Um, So today I'm going to show off some really, really, really terrible pauper strategies. Um, because I, for whatever reason, think that I really want to try something different. Oh, and cut down isn't legal. I think I've got cut down on multiple decks, don't I? Um, what do you even, I guess just feed the swarm? I don't know. I overuse a lot of cards in multiple decks, so a lot of them aren't very good. And I'll just I'll give you a little example of what my decks look like. So this is a terrible Dragons Pauper deck. It does not work. It's not very good. So you use like Highland Forest, snow-covered forest. You go in like scaled nurture, go into do I not have any? No, I don't have any more. Well, I could go into Seething Song, add 5 red, Dragonlord Servant, Reckless Barbarian, Ren's Resolve, exile the top 2, go to next turn, go for like snow-covered, scaled nurture, Nature's Lore. So the whole idea is to ramp into top-end threats like Dread Lenorm, which is a 7/6, can't be blocked by creatures with power 3 or greater, or 3 or less. And then if you have Lenorm in your graveyard with things like Grapple with the Past, then you can use it for Ambitious Dragonborn and make it big. Uses Orcish Lumberjack along with Seething Song to add mana fast. Reckless Impulse, Ren's Resolve to search for answers and threats. Scred is the removal, since all of the lands are snow. And then Nature's Resolve can get forests, which you're going to need to sacrifice with Orcish Lumberjack. Or it can get Highland Forest. I haven't put this deck together IRL, but it just doesn't seem like it's going to work. Because, like, the turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, it's just very... I guess Nature's Lore, we'll call that the Highland Forest. Go to turn 4. Nature's Lore for regular forest. Grapple with the Past. Returning, I guess, like Dragonborn to the hand. Turn 5. It's just very slow, and I don't think it does enough for what it needs, so it's definitely not being put together. Demon Days is up next, so this is a really, really weird deck, because there really aren't that many demons that are legal in Pauper, and the best of them is probably Hezru, which is a 6/6. So the whole idea is you get out Shadowborn Apostles, you sack them into Hezru, and then try and win the game from there. You can sacrifice Hezru with Rite of Consumption to finish off opponents, refills the hand with Night's Whisper, removes with Feed the Swarm, and then you can also cheat things out with Dark Ritual and Cabal Ritual for extra mana, and then Street Wraith can be cycled, so it's just kind of like a free draw. A deck like a match like this would go Shadowborn into turn 2, probably Night's Whisper into turn 3, Cabal Ritual, Shadowborn, Shadowborn. To turn 4, Night's Whisper, draw 2, into Swamp, into probably Dark Ritual, floating 3, Night's Whisper, draw 2, go to opponent's turn. It's really hard to get out the 6 Shadowborn Apostles, because you're never going to be drawing into them. and I'm only playing 16 because I don't want to overdo it with creatures. So the deck theoretically could work, it just doesn't. Um, Next up is a relentless rats deck. So I had cut down in this. I guess I have to go up, feed the swarm, and like reckless impulse probably. Maybe throw in probably street wraith. So this one uses relentless rats. You're gonna try and get them out with dark ritual as fast as possible. Then either finishing with rats or finishing with gray merchant. You have crash through, which you can cycle. Well, not really cycle, but you could just give your creatures trample for no reason and just draw the card for one. Or it can give your rats trample to help you win. So first turn would be like geothermal bog. Second turn would be like mountain, dark ritual, rats. Dark ritual, rats. Cycling street wraith to draw a card. Maybe crash through to draw a card. Move into turn 3, like swamp. Take out another relentless rats. Black. Maybe go crash through. Draw into relentless rats. Turn 5, swamp, reckless impulse. It'd be like that. 2 into like another reckless impulse. 2, go to turn 6. Got a swamp, rats, crash through, draw. So it could theoretically work. It's just relentless rats are kind of awkward, being 3 mana. It's not very fast, and the removal's limited, I guess, is how I'd put it. Next up is Pauper Reanimate, which I don't think really exists currently. I don't follow it as much, but I haven't really seen too many Reanimate decks. So it's going to use Dread Return and hopefully Sacrifice. So the whole idea is you want to mill with Mire Triton, and however else, and Stinkweed Imp into Gloom Sower, which is, if you don't know, it's a 7 mana 8/6. So it's a huge body, and we're going to try and either reanimate it with Dread Return or flashbacking Dread Return, so we have a couple Shambling Gas, and then you can sacrifice your Mire Tritons and Stinkweed Imps to get them back in the graveyard. Gurmag Angler is going to be the backup plan, and you've seen this in previous decks. I really want to get Rite of Consumption to work, because I feel like it could be a way to finish off games. I just haven't gotten to it yet. And then Dashed Hopes is a counterspell, but they pay 25% of their life, which I would say if you were to go into game 1 with Dash Hopes, they'll probably pay for it. But you're going to be going... You're trying to get into chains. So if they're going to be paying 5 life then that's 5 less life you got to deal later. So it could be something like Dash Hopes, they pay 5, you reanimate Gloom Sower, swing once, get in for 8, and then sack it to Rite of Consumption, that's another 8, and then it comes down to, that's game, because that's 21 damage. Test Hand, egad, that's not good. Oh right, it also plays Tron, because I thought maybe that would be a way to get in, like, legitimately. So I'd probably do that. Go like Swamp, Shambling Ghast. Urza's Mine. Dark Ritual. Night's Whisper, draw 2. Into use that last 2 for Mire Triton, mill 2. Something like that, so we can hold up Dash Hopes. Urza's Mine. You can play Stinkweed Imp, hoping to sack it. There's nothing in the graveyard to currently Dread Return. Yeah. So it doesn't have enough draw to be successful, but I'd like to see the deck work, because I think Pauper Reanimator sounds cool. Next up is Milk. I think I just misspelled mill. I was really tired. So you theoretically have all the mill pieces in Pauper, along with Tormod's Crypt for Graveyard Hate. Um, so this would go something like 1 into probably mill 4, and then turn 2, you're gonna mill 4 again, bring in one of them. Turn 3, you go probably like Tome Scour for more mills. So down there, that's what Tome Scour. They're down 18 cards. Move into Cycle Compelling Argument. Island, probably Mole Drifter, because you want that draw into. So it does play Persistent Petitioners, and the deck's fairly budget friendly too. So it theoretically has good blockers. It theoretically can survive, and then you do have Tormod's Crypt, which is going to help you with like Tolarian Terror and whatever's trying to cost less from the graveyard. So like turn 2, persistent, persistent, and then I guess like mill 7. I don't know. I just never seem to draw well with it, and I don't think mill is supported enough to be good. But hey, maybe somebody will prove me wrong. Next up is Life is Good. I haven't seen too many life gain decks, so using Death Greeter and Essence Warden to gain life, Healer of the Glades, Rated Scorpion, Blood Researcher, and Marauding Blight Priest are going to be your payoffs. You have Charge Through, which you can cycle to draw a card, or put on Blood Researcher to help it get in. Dark Ritual is like a turn 1 Marauding Blight Priest. Foul Tongue Shriek can help you gain like a good chunk of life because you are going to have attackers. Abundant Harvest is going to help you draw into pieces you need. Dark Heart of the Woods is like, if you're at the end of the game and your opponent's down to like 6 or 7 life, you just sacrifice all your lands and benefit with Marauding Blight Priest. Lands-wise, it plays Bajuka Bog because Tolarian Terror and like the Delve types of decks that are going on right now, because I see a lot of Delve. And then Haunted Mire is going to be your double, and then Radiant Fountain gains life. This deck has a lot of potential, I think, because I think life gain is fun sometimes. Life gain is a sometimes food. But like Haunted Mire's Raid Scorpion into Haunted Mire, I guess swing in Foul Tongue Shriek. You gain 2, they lose 2. Forest. Probably put Dark Heart of the Wood up. Forest. Healer of the Glade. So it could probably run something like Knight's Whisper to be more consistent, because it does have a hard time drawing cards. But I think the shell is somewhat good. Next up is Mirror Burn. So this is like a weird... It uses Mirror Servitor, so if one's on the battlefield, you bring back all the ones from graveyards. So you could benefit with Reckless Fireweaver and then Ashnod's Altar. So the concept is you mill them all with Stinkweed Imp, sack them to Ashnod's Altar, and then when they come back, they can trigger Impact Tremors or Reckless Fireweaver using Gurmag Angler as backup, and then Shriekhorn to help mill your deck. So they mill 2 cards a turn for 3 turns, which isn't great. However, it's some of the limited mill options you have in Pauper. Springleaf Drum for mana, because mirrors are going to be costing 1, so it uses Scred for removal. Knight's Whisper and Thrill of Possibilities will get the mirrors out of your hand and help you draw. So I guess a game like this, I think I would go turn 1 Sulphur's Mire, turn 2 into Shriekhorn, and then Mere Servitor, milling 2, and then on my upkeep, I mill 2, sorry, which upkeep, Mere Servitor comes back, probably Snow-Covered Mountain, bring in Ashnod's Altar, go to turn 4, mill, so, at the upkeep before I would draw, I would mill 2, that would be the last count on Shriekhorn, sacrificing Mere Servitor on upkeep, so that it'll come back. At this point, there's no payoff, so I guess you would Night's Whisper for 2, Night's Whisper for 2, Snow-Covered Swamp, probably Gurmag Angler, for the last black, come in, go for, like, Impact Tremors, or I could have sacrificed, there's ways it could have been played, but, like, the deck, it's very gimmicky. It's kind of like the one where you have the two, I forget what it is, but you sacrifice one and it brings back the other. I think they're also mirrors, like scrapped or whatever. Next up is Foggy, so, I'm gonna, well, it's got cut down, so it's not legal in Pauper. Outside of the cut downs, so the deck is a very low mana, fog strategy, so in concept, I think I'd probably run, like, Cremate, something simple that you can cycle, but the whole concept is that you're going to be activating Fog every turn, and then it uses Shriekhorn to mill your opponent, which it can mill a total of 24 cards, so you're going to mill your opponent, fog them out every combat, and then hope that they run out of cards before you do. Can also use Sludge Crawler as a blocker at worst, and at best you can ingest to help lower your opponent's library count. So this would be a very grindy, not fun match. So we're going to assume they got nothing turn 1. We're going to go Swamp, Calm Me at the False Hope, Shriekhorn. They're going to mill 2. We sacrifice it on their turn for combat. Kami, we're going to cycle Street Wraith, lose 2 life, draw a card. On their turn, we'll Darkness, and it's just hoping to probably Swamp. Night's Whisper, just draw into as many combat stoppers as possible while milling out the opponent. It would probably be a slow, grindy deck. It's low on lands, and I don't think I'm ever going to build it, because it seems kind of mean. And I'd rather just, like, have a match done. Last deck on the list. I can't wait to find out that half these cards aren't. Yeah, I kind of figured Swords wasn't. I don't know why I was in the deck, though. So, if we were to find another removal piece, I really want Dash Hopes to work in a deck somewhere. But this is probably not the one. So let's see, what's a Pauper treasure? Probably like Deadly Dispute. So you probably put in like 2 Deadly Disputes, something like that. But the whole concept of the deck is that it's white-black flicker affinity. So you're gonna use Grey Merchant of Asphodel. You have Blind Zealot, which can destroy creatures. Sangrophage is a beater. Dusk Legion Zealot is going to draw you a card. Shambling Ghast is treasure and Serrated Scorpion's damage. So the whole concept is to just stall out until you can bring out Grey Merchant and then flicker it with Ephemerate and Cloud Shift. So I guess ideal game goes like Goldmire Bridge, Serrated Scorpion, Swamp into Blind Zealot. I always do this, but like assuming that nothing gets destroyed on a turn. Dark Ritual into Gray Merchant. It's gonna hit them for 5. Then turn 6, we go uh probably Ephemerate. We go Ephemerate, flicker it, comes back. That's 5 more damage into Plains. Ephemerate will flicker it again. It's 5 more. And then Cloud Shift, and then that's game. So theoretically, you win somewhat fast, and the fact that you gain life is going to help out. However, I don't think it's fast enough for Pauper. There's going to be ways to deal with it. There's going to be counter spells. So yeah, no, definitely none of these decks are good ideas. Here's the little list of cards I wanted to make work, like Mere Servitor, Shadowborn. I think Barrel Ghoul has potential as a threat because it's a 2-mana 4/4, as long as you have your graveyard filled. So it could be good, but I'm not really sure. Priest of Titania and Shepherd of Rot. I feel like there aren't that many elf or zombie decks going on, so I'd like to work with those. Serve of Darkness. I think Scred is a really good removal spell. Dash Hopes, I really want to make work. Hindering Light, I think has like a. There's so many cards that I think would work, but then I remember, oh wait, Burn exists, so they can just bolt your face. But like Hindering Light would say, stop that, bolt the face. But then in that situation, it's not stopping creatures, so you'd be better just running Counterspell. However, drawing a card seems good. Moon Mist, because there are wolves and werewolves in yeah, and I really think that a werewolf pauper deck would be cool. Rite of Consumption, I was in a couple decks. I want Impact Tremors to work, but it doesn't. And then Herzu. Overall, I've learned a lot and yet learned so little about Pauper. It's a complex format. And maybe I'll spread out for my Goblin deck, but I think I'm kind of content with where I am right now. Let me know what you're building, though. I'd like to see some cool strats, new decks, whatever. Peace.